Good morning, everybody. This is the 97th segment of the Think Before You Speak series, Shemirat Halashon with Clarity. Leilui Nishmat, the great Chafetz Chaim Zechet Tzadik L'Bracha. Leilui Nishmat, Reb Chaim Kanievsky Zechet Tzadik L'Bracha. Leilui Nishmat, Yedidi Ahuvi, Reb Zechariah Wallerstein Zechet Tzadik L'Bracha. Leilui Nishmat, Luz Aliza Bat Henriette and our children that passed with her in the fire. Ruach Hashem Tenichena B'Gan Eden. As well, these halachot should be a great zechut for the Hatzlacha Gedola, the Ashirut and the Shefa, for our Bnei Chabur that sit and learn in the Kollel every morning together before they go to work until 11 o'clock, 11:30. Hashem should bless them with tremendous bracha v'hatzlacha ad bilidai. As well, these halachot are specifically dedicated for the Hatzlacha Gedola, the Shmira Ma'alya and the Siyat Chen of Chaim Davidom and Chayesar. Today's halachot, titled The Contract. Okay. So now, we're about to hit on a halacha that I think every now and then you've heard stories that might have taken place similar into the lives of many people that you know. Hey, picture this. You're walking down the street and you happen to bump into your neighbor. And your neighbor, she's pushing her baby carriage and she's holding a knapsack. And you say, "You're working? I thought you're a homebody. I thought you're a mom at home." And she says, "Yeah, well, I was, but now I have no choice. Financially, we're a little tight, so I went out to get a job, and I'm helping out my husband. I'm working." "Oh, very nice. So what do you do with your child?" I said, "Well, I just got this great babysitter." "Oh, really? Who?" And she tells you the name of the babysitter. And all of a sudden, this alarm goes off in your brain. I said, "That babysitter? I used her 2 years ago, and she was horrible. I was not happy with the job she did, the way she handled the kids. She was completely incompetent. I cannot believe she's using her." So now, stop for a minute, and you think, wait 1 second. Am I allowed to say and tell her, "Don't use that babysitter"? She thinks for a minute, and she says, "You know, that when a person gets an ongoing job, it's not a one-night babysitting service, but it's a babysitter that they sign a contract and they actually bring them on for a long-term relationship." So she starts to think, did she sign a contract with her? If she didn't sign a contract with her, I can step in and tell her, l'toelet, that, "Hey, I wasn't so happy with that babysitter. I don't know if you want to use her." But if she did sign a contract with her, and you're going to tell her now information that's going to break the partnership agreement and contract between the two, that already is not so simple. So the halacha says, you need to go to a Rav and ask, once you found out that they already signed an agreement between them, you need to ask a Rav if you're allowed to say something negative about the person that this person just signed with. And you might actually have to get permission from Beddin to be able to go and tell over to the person who they're already bound to through a contract everything negative that you know about that person, l'toelet, in order to save them. So this is an amazing idea. Let's get this clear. So here's a halacha. Even if you know two people that are discussing doing business together, and you know something that's negative about one of them that could affect the other person if they would go in partnership together, but it was only verbal, you're allowed to go and tell that person, "Be careful of X, Y, and Z. I have experience with this person. I don't want you to fall into the same pitfall. Of course, it has to meet the requirements of toelet, but I'm saying this l'toelet, not for revenge and all the other conditions that we already know you need." But if they already signed the contract between them, you got to get permission from a Beddin before you say even one word. Because now they're bound. To break a bond between two people is much more serious when it comes to your words. Let's think about that for a minute. Look how delicate The Torah takes steps, even l'toelet. But once there's a bond between people, like between husband and wife, there's a bond. It's not just telling someone information about someone else, l'toelet. It's a bond that's on the line. There already the halachot are much more sensitive. There we need to turn to a Rav, maybe even a Beit Din. Thank you for listening.